going on, everybody? Dr. Vasquez here, coming to you live for the second time today. Apparently exactly at 4:30 because my watch is beeping. And that is the topic for this video, watches. So a few weeks ago I did a video on watches, and then I did a article or a blog or whatever also on watches. It was about a few other topics as well, but it kind of centered around watches. And so here's my third installment on watches. And the reason that I'm doing this right now is because I just spent about the last 2 hours cleaning this watch because I'm going to give it away. And it's a bronze watch, limited edition. And I'm not making a big deal out of that, but it is a limited edition. And so I'm going to give this away to a young man, I guess this week. Yeah, this week. It'll be this Thursday, I suppose. And so obviously it's a surprise for him. And, like I said, and as many of you know, men have had at times a tradition of giving gifts to each other, even if it's in a business setting, like in the United States, the old United States, where employers actually used to respect, at least somewhat, they used to respect their employees. If a person worked in a position for 20 years or whatever, then they usually got a company watch. So, giving watches and even knives between men is kind of a tradition. Some of you may have no idea what I'm talking about, and that's all the more reason for me to talk about it. So this afternoon I spent more time than I expected cleaning this watch. You can see it's a rather, in terms of complications, it doesn't have any complications. It's just hour, minute, and seconds. But it is a beautiful watch. Like I said, it's bronze, so it has a pretty good weight to it. This is one of the bands that came with it. It's brand new. I haven't ever used it because it's too small for me. I love it, but it's too small for me. Which reminds me of two things I want to say. One is, if you're going to give away a watch, it ought to be in good shape, So this watch is in pretty good shape. I actually had a really bad accident wearing this watch, and that's why it has two little dings right there, but they're really minor. This is the watch I was wearing when I had a really bad bicycle accident and paralyzed my arm. My arm was paralyzed for a few months. But obviously now it's recovered because I know how to do things. So let's see, what else do I want to say about this watch? It's limited edition. It was the watch I was wearing. In fact, as I was in the process of having this bicycle accident, so, well, I guess probably you don't know, but I started riding bikes when I was a kid. I used to race bikes. I used to race BMX bikes when I was a kid. And so I grew up on a bicycle, basically. And, I've had obviously plenty of accidents. And so as I was having this accident, the first day actually that I ever wore this watch in southern Spain, as I was having this accident, I was like in the air, flipping over, about to hit the cement or concrete, I guess it is. And I was thinking, well, this is stupid, but at least I want to protect the watch. So I remember I was in the air, like flipping over the bicycle, and I was like trying to protect the watch. And I remember looking at the watch right in front of me. I was like, well, the watch will be okay. Boom. And then I hit the ground like I just got hit by lightning or something. It was just incredible. So anyway, that's obviously a longer story. But anyway, here we are, back to this watch. I'm giving this watch away to the guy who's apparently going to be I don't know what he's going to be to me, but like brother-in-law or something like that. But he's, for a young man without a good father figure, he's doing a good job of managing his life and stepping himself into the role of being a good man. He's doing a remarkably good job. I don't even know how old he is. I think he could be 28 for all I know. I don't know him that well. And that's somewhat his fault. I've made myself available to spend time with him, but he hasn't made himself available. And that's because he's not used to being around men. And so he can always find something to do other than, spending time with a man. But that's common. So, that's part of the territory. But that actually, in my opinion, that actually means I'm on the right track by, trying to give him a gift that will honor him because no one else is going to do it, and no one else is doing it, and no one in his life is going to do it, or is capable of doing it, or even has the concept of doing it. His own father, from the little that I know, is absolutely worthless as a man and almost as a human. Well, I guess as a human being too. So, sorry if that music in the background is a little too rattly, but that song will be over eventually. It's a good song, but it has a part where it's a little too noisy for me. So anyway, like I said, I cleaned up this watch. I'm going to give him this watch this weekend, and I hope he likes it. He'll probably say thanks, and he could say something like, "Oh, well, it's not my," I don't know what he's going to say, but he could say it's not my style. And again, that's the point. Of course it's not his style. He's never had a good watch. So if he says it's not my style, then no shit. That's the whole purpose. The purpose of giving someone a good gift at times, depending on, where you are with that person, sometimes the purpose of giving them a gift is to kind of elevate them or show them things they've never seen before, or like, wow, I didn't even know I could have a watch like that. I mean, I don't even know if he wears a watch. If he does, I'm sure it's some no-name plastic thing or whatever. But I think this is a good watch for him. It's an automatic watch, and this guy's really athletic. So, it'll keep itself wound. It doesn't show anything on the back. What it shows on the back is just it's a kind of an etching of a Russian battleship, like a medieval type battleship. Again, like I said, it's a limited edition. Only 50 of these were made. This is number 42. What else do I want to say about it? It's a little too big for him. He's an athletic guy, but he's got kind of a small frame. Under his athleticness and his muscularity, he's just got a small frame. And this is probably a 52 millimeter watch. This is the watch I almost gave him, but I decided to keep this one because I still like it. Oh, this is 47 millimeters. Oh, and it's actually a little bit bigger. So if this is 47, then this is probably a 45. And like I said, it's going to be the biggest watch he's ever had. It's almost maybe too big for his frame, even though, like I said, he's kind of a muscular guy, so he can probably pull it off. I can barely wear this band. Like when I put this band on, I'm in the final hole. And I presume he won't be, so it'll fit him better than it fits me. Anyway, here's the watch. I just cleaned it up. If you're going to give away a watch, make sure it's in good shape. Don't just give somebody a piece of junk. And the other thing, like I said, this is a leather band, but it's brand new. And you can see it's obviously in perfect shape. And that's a high-end, like international level leather band. So I hope he appreciates it. But whether he does or not, I can't be concerned about that because I am giving him this gift and I hope he enjoys it. And if he's too immature or too whatever, or he loses it, then I have to be okay with whatever the destiny of this watch is once I give it away. And one of the things I thought about as I was polishing this for the last hour, you can see how much I polished it, which quite a bit actually. So as I was polishing this watch, I was thinking to myself, yeah, it hurts a little bit, but that's only a manifestation of the fact that this watch, yeah, it does have some history with me, and it was part of my life. And so, yeah, if it doesn't hurt a little bit, you're probably doing it wrong. And if it does hurt a little bit, then you're probably doing it right. The other thing that I wanted to say, this is something that I learned. I've mentioned this before in a different video, but part of giving something away means giving it away and it's not yours anymore. And to give it away without any emotional residue. So give it away. Hope you enjoy it, and bon voyage. In contrast, I'm sure most of us have had people give us a gift and then it's kind of sticky or it has like residue to it. And that just sucks. That's worse than not receiving the gift. So one time somebody in my bloodline gave me a watch one time. And then he acted like a fool pretty soon after that. And so I ended up giving the watch away to a taxi driver. So, part of giving away a watch, if you want it to have, good mojo and good vibes around it, is you still have to continue to be a decent person. And not emotionally contaminate it and not ask about it every time. It's like, hey, how's the watch I gave you? Remember I gave you that watch? I hope you enjoy the watch. Did you get a new watch? How's your watch? Where's your watch? No, give it away, and goodbye. The other thing that I wanted to mention just about the leather. So leather is going to patina over time, which means it kind of takes on its own personality and character, which is great. But again, if you're going to give away a leather watch, make sure that it's in good shape, and it can have some patina maybe, but it shouldn't be dirty. I remember listening to a guy talk about his watch one time, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's got a good patina on it." I was like, "No, dude, that's just sweat and grease. That's not patina." So patina classically applies to leather, copper, and bronze. And then you can extend that idea to other things. I mean, if you go to Europe, most of Europe has a patina to it because it's, some of it's 2,000 years old. But anyway, like I said, clean it up, service it. I was going to give him this watch, but then I decided I'd rather give him this watch. This watch is actually a lot more expensive. So this is a legit gift of a watch. I mean, I don't know, and I'm not trying to flex around it because I don't have a need to flex on anything. But I think that this is probably an $800 watch. And this is a $120 watch, but I like this one more, and I'll probably keep it. I'll probably give it away eventually, but I'm not ready to give it away yet. But I am ready to give this other one away. So that's it. I'll just keep this short. So let me see if I can remember my own ideas around giving away this watch. It can be used, but it needs to be in good shape. So clean it up, get it serviced if it needs it, make sure everything's working. This one's obviously working quite well. I haven't even wound it, but you can tell because it's an automatic watch that it's running itself a little bit, just because I've been manipulating it and cleaning it and kind of scrubbing it like that, so that wound it. Make sure the watch is in clean and good shape. If it hurts a little bit to give it away, then you're probably doing the right thing. Because it should have meaning. I mean, and I hope he receives this watch as having some meaning. It's not like, hey man, I just bought this watch in the grocery store. I hope he receives it and knows that it was part of my life and that now it's part of his. One of the things Robert Moore said in his book, well, not in his book, in one of his lectures, but Robert Moore is one of the co-authors of that book that I mentioned before, King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. I'm sure I have it behind me in my little library there. But he said, if you're a man and you're not being honored, respected, or taught by another man, then you're being hurt. And so I thought about that, as I was cleaning this watch, and I thought, this guy's doing really good in his life. For a young man, he's really stepping up and taking on a lot of responsibility. He's taking care of my sister-in-law, not like paying for her life, but he's being a good man in their relationship. He's helping take care of her kid, including hospital trips and all this kind of stuff. So he's definitely stepping up. He's working a few jobs. He's definitely hustling to make money, as he should, for a young guy. And he takes care of his own family as well. And from the little that I know, he doesn't have anyone in his life who's like supporting him, which makes his integrity all the more honorable. And so that's why I'm giving him this watch. So clean it up. Share the importance of the watch so I could tell him the story of it and then say, enjoy it. But don't make it sticky like emotional residue, like, hey, I'm going to check on my watch every 6 months, or I want visitation rights with my watch that I gave away. No emotional residue. So clean, importance, but no residue. What else do I want to say? That's probably about it. I don't have a lot of things to say about it. But yeah, so I'm giving him this watch. And, I guess the other thing that I said earlier, part number 4, is don't be the giver of something and then be a bastard or be a bitch about it later, Like, I already mentioned, no emotional residue. But beyond that is just continuing to be a good person. Like I said, I don't think I mentioned who it was, but yeah, somebody gave me a watch a couple of years ago, and then a couple of weeks later, he acted like a real bitch to me. And so I gave the watch away to a taxi driver. I was like, hey, I don't want this in my life if it's going to come with, some type of contamination. Again, I talked about this watch before. This is the Invicta Pro Diver 200 meter watch with one complication, which is the date. This is the watch that's famously known as the $100 Rolex. So yeah, for $120, That is a hell of a watch for 120 bucks. But I'm not ready to give it away yet. But maybe I will. Maybe I'll give it away this week. I guess I'll carry it with me. But it's a little too big. The guy who I would give that watch to this watch would look like a shield on his arm. It's too big for him. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. And I'm only saying this kind of as a follow-up to my other conversations about watches and the fact that I just spent some blood, sweat, and tears cleaning up this watch and getting it ready and changing out the bands and getting everything ready. So that's all I want to say about it. Hope you're all doing well and have a great weekend. Bye.